Computer. Hello, my name's Terry. I'm W5TMP. We have Steve, K4ELI. He's in Georgia. And Steve, go ahead and introduce yourself and then go right into the stuff, okay?
All right. Steve, K4ELI. I am about 48 miles northwest of Atlanta in Dallas, Georgia. I put this presentation together last week for a local club meeting. Our club has a October POTA activity contest where we try to encourage people to get out and activate parks and hunt POTA stations from their home. This presentation program is kind of directed to help the folks that were not real familiar with some of the tools that we use. This is the way I do it. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's just one of many ways that are out there. And it's the way I have done this for a while. So I'm going to hit a minute or two on N3FJP, the logging program I use, how it sets up for that. We will talk about the POTA website and a couple of other pieces that go along with that. And then spend some time with WSJT and JT Alert. And then at the end, we'll talk about how I use all of those tools together to make contacts. So let me share my screen. And where I'm going to start is with the club score sheet. And this is what we use. We have had in times past 2 contests in the same month. We have had the POTA Scarstoberfest, as we call it, and this spreadsheet's been updated for 2024 dates. And at the same time, we have had an AMDX broadcast band contest. We have since transferred the DX contest to the month of January. That's a much more appropriate month to sit by the fire and listen to AM broadcast stations. And so this part of it is the tracking spreadsheet. My entry is I have hunted 58 contacts, and I get this number from the POTA website. I have made 1 activation and 63 contacts. And there's some calculations in here to try to equate or help equalize folks that are primarily hunters with those who activate. So you just come in and you put, if I activated another place, for example, and had a total of 100 cues in 2 parks, then it would automatically calculate that and put the score in. So our goal is to emphasize activating. So the more parks and the more contacts, the better you're going to score. So I have that link in the chat, and anybody that would like this program for their own use, they're welcome to it. One of the other tools that I use, and not directly related to any of this, but dxworld.net, go on their website, come down to this display, and this is the DXpedition list that are active for the month of October. It will update and change a couple of times during the month, so you want to come back and check it. If you put your mouse out to the side of it here and you right click, you can print this, and it will print full size on 8.5 by 11 piece of paper where it's readable. If you're looking at it here and you want to know more about, for example, TO2DX, you click on it, you read more, and it will tell you about the expedition. It will probably tell you the frequencies that they're on and the mode that they're operating, and enhance greatly your opportunity to contact them. So just a tidbit there on that one. Now we will go to the parks on the air screens. For those of you who are not members or signed in, the help getting started is where you want to go and sign up so that you're listed on there, and all the contacts you make will show under the hunter column. We'll show you that in a minute. Just a quick look at, I've been playing POTA for a while. I have made 11,729 contacts from activations. I have done, get the picture out of the way, 272 activations at 100 unique parks. And this is the scorecard for that. Down at the bottom is the hunted bands and my hunted record. You can see the modes and the formats that I have hunted or worked people who are activating parks. Let's see. The primary screen that POTA activators and hunters use is the spots screen, and you click on the spots button and it will give you the spots. Usually the default is, I'll find it here. The default is usually, well, it didn't stick. The square block mode. I will tell it I like the table mode, which is this, and I sort by frequency. What that does, it lets me tune the radio if I'm on sideband to 40 meters, and I just tune down through the frequencies to see which one I can hear and work them if I can hear them and can work them in a reasonable amount of time. So that's a kind of a quick shot at those pieces of the puzzle. The next thing we want to look at is at the bottom of the screen. One of the important pieces for the WSJT is your time clock. Has got to be really on. A lot of us in the Silver Comet Club here in Dallas, Georgia, use Dimension 4. Works really well. Load it up. It tells me right now I'm at 0.109 seconds off, and I will click the sync button, and that's a really good time. I got a 008. I'm usually pretty happy if I'm less than 0.05. That's seems to work real well. So you've got that piece of the puzzle. The next tool that we use is I use N3FJP, AC log, amateur contact log. One of the things that they have that makes it real easy to do POTA is in their settings, and there's a lot. There's an hour plus program I do just on AC log. So we're not going to hit nearly all of what's available there. But if you drop down in the settings to fields displayed, positions, you can load a saved configuration. And one of the configurations is the author of the program has developed is a POTA configuration. He came up with this after I had set the layout that I'm using. I have this is the one that I'm using that I created. I got used to it, and I just stick with it. But this will convert your log to the POTA. It displays the POTA fields that you want to connect here on the screen, or you want to fill in. It will give you the SIG info, which is the part number of the park you're working. On my activation computer, I also have a block that says my SIG, which is the park I'm activating. And I think that the default POTA screen will show you that as well. The way to see what the fields are is the first three other fields, it changes and assigns these names to them. These are the standard ADIF file names for those data blocks. So it is it is in line with the ADI file export import. So when you create your export to send to POTA for your activations, they're under the right column names. Let's see. One of the couple of other things is in the DX spotting, and you will see at the bottom of the screen the DX spots. And I have that set to filter some things that I want. A couple of things that you have to, let's see. The monitor I'm using, it doesn't always come up with the full screen. So there we have it. To edit this, you have to disable the DX, and you'll see the spots down at the bottom of the page disappeared. The default Telenet host that most of us around here use is a local guy has his host wb4qoj.no-ip.org, and he's 20 miles from me, so that's by far the closest one. If you're in the southeast, it might be the closest one to you, unless you have another one. Telenet port 7373, and it works great. I've just recently found out that there is a POTA spotting site, POTA-cluster.iz2lsc.eu. And if you click this Telenet host in, the spots you get will be the POTA activation spots from the POTA page we just looked at. So if you're out, if you're in the heavy I'm hunting POTA mode, you might want to put that Telenet host in and just limit your spots at the bottom of the screen to POTA spots. We'll see what we get here. I have found it to be a little bit inconsistent. Most of the time it does what I expect, and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see. There's a POTA spot. Apparently it didn't flush everything out. But those are there and available. AC log 7.0 01.10 or later, I understand, is required for the POTA spot thing to work correctly. So that's something you might want to look for there. Couple of other things just real quick with AC log is usually you set it to download the country file from AD1C. And I thought there was a click here that would let you set that. Somewhere in here, there's a setup, you do that. Those are the DX country station files so that when you log a name or a call, you will get the right information tied to that. He uploads or creates new files every 2-3 weeks, and AC log will flag you that there's a new file when you start it, if there's one out there. Always download those files. You have to restart the computer to activate them, or not restart the computer, restart AC log. The last thing I want to do, because I've had a problem here and no reason to not warn people, set your backup stuff to a mode and a method that you're comfortable with. I keep my log computer up most of the time. So one of the things I have is I write a permanent backup each time I close the program. When you log a new contact in the database, it automatically updates the database file, and it's a current file as soon as you hit the log, and the computer cycles the software one time, milliseconds or whatever for that. But be sure you have your backups. I've lost a file. Fortunately, I went back to some of my backups and was able to recreate it, but you can't have too many log backups. So that's kind of gone through and hit the really, really highlights, hot spots. One thing I will add, AC log comes with the cursor that is this little blinking vertical bar, if any of you can even see it in this box. That is the only indicator of which box is the hot box. I go back up in settings, and I won't go there now, but I'll point you in the direction, appearance, colors, and fonts, and tell it to make the highlight the brightest yellow I can find, so that when I tab through, I don't have to look for where is the little blinky cursor line that I can't hardly see. I just look for the big orange blotch and know that's where I want to be typing. So that's the last thing on this. We'll minimize this, and let's see. Let's see, move Terry from get Terry off of the top of all of these. I'm trying to move there we go. I moved the sharing thing was in my way. Here we have, and this is the way I have mine set up to run. Normally I will have this arrangement. I will have the log in the background. I can see the last few contacts I made. and I only have one screen. So I have all this running on one screen, and this is the way I have come up to see what I want to look at with one, I guess, 27-inch TV. I've got a pair of monitors to put on this computer. I've got to do some work on the desk to get enough real estate to set them both up. So we will go to and spend a few minutes with WSJT-x. This is version, no, here we go. I was looking at the wrong one. They're side by side there. WSJT-x version 2.7.1 developmental. I have not checked recently to see if there is a newer one. I think somebody told me there might be one past this one. But he has made a lot of changes since the last one I had. I usually only update about every third iteration that he comes out with. Some of the bigger changes from the previous versions to this one for me is, first of all, the band selection buttons that are in the middle. Previously, you had to go here and pick your band, and if we wanted to change, we're on 2 meters, or 20 meters. If we want to change to 15, we would have to go here and click on this. Now, my radio just followed. This is the frequency from the radio. But today we just click on the button and you don't have to go dig through the list. That's a pretty cool piece. One of the other things is, if you want to do Fox and Hound, you used to have to go to a menu system, and we're going to go there and look at several things in a minute. But if I want to do Fox and Hound, I click the H. I click the H, and it tells me we're in Fox and Hound mode. If there is a DX station that's running Super Fox, we will see in a minute how to change Fox and Hound to Super Fox. And when we do, and you click this button, it will tell you you're running Super Fox down here. So that's a couple of the kind of, for me, cooler updates. The other is, if you want to change the mode, you used to have to come here and click mode and pick one. Today, you just say if you want to do FT4. I've gone to FT4. It has changed to the default FT4 frequency. That's what the radio display says. If I want to go back to FT8, I just click and go back to FT8. So that's kind of a real quick and dirty on this. We're going to look at some other stuff and come back and look at this a little more. To set all of this up, in the settings for WSJT, and you go to the file. Let's do that again. You go to file, you come down to settings, or if you have this screen selected, F2 will take you here. But you go to settings there, and he has added some stuff here. There's some extra information in this area. This is where you set up the basic details, your call, your grid, region, IARU region, and how you want stuff to display, how you want it to behave, and the different actions that you do. How you want the the states and messages to display. Just the basic setup. In the radio piece, I have K3S talking to COM11, and there's a drop-down list for most of the popular radios. And information is available to set your radio however it needs to be. To check and see if you have the communications correct, you click the test cat button. It will turn green. You click test push to talk, and it will come on. And that says we're talking to the radio. Everything is good. Click OK. And I didn't want to click OK there. Let's go back and look at some more stuff. So that gets the radio. The next thing is you have to set the audio so that the computer and the radio are communicating. Generally, it will use the USB audio codec for mic and speakers. TX macros, I have not ever done any of these. There's opportunity to do some pretty cool stuff there, I think. I just have not used that. Reporting, I will primarily, I always have it set to remind me to log the QSO, and I will demonstrate that when we get back over to, when we get through going around the background stuff. DB report in the comments on the log. The big thing is enable PSK reporter spotting. And what this does will spot on PSK reporter all of these calls that you are hearing. And this is the calls received or station received piece of WSJT. So that will send all of that list, and folks can look and they can see propagation is good to North Georgia from wherever, and provides a lot of information for what propagation is doing. Next thing up is the frequencies, and I use the frequencies as they are set. I don't worry a whole lot about trying to add or change them. The colors, I'm using the colors, some of the colors, to indicate if my call is in a message, it shows up red. If there is CQ in the message, it will show up green, and you see that right here and right here. If I transmit, it's a bright yellow. New DXCC station that I don't have in my log. New DXCC on a particular band. And I don't have any of the other ones. LOTW user is clicked, but I don't have a color for that. But you can pick and choose, and will help you interpret some of what you see here. In the advanced piece of the puzzle, this is where you set this for the fox and hound or other special activities. If you are working fox and hound, you click that, and that lights that up. If you want to do the super fox mode, now I'm set for super fox. If I save this and I come back over here, when I click the H button, it will say super fox right here. We're not going to do that today, but if you're running FT48 in the North American VHF contest, you click this, and it sets the standard messages to support the protocol for that contest. If you're running the Worldwide Digi contest, it will set the standard messages to the protocol for that. If you're running FT8 on field day, likewise, it will set those. And here it gives you the opportunity for field day to put in your field day exchange. 1D Georgia was the last time I ran it from here. FT Roundup exchange is apparently just the state of Georgia, so that lights that up. The AARL Digi contest. So to use these, you click the special operating and the one that you want to play in, and it will preset the standard messages. You can set alerts for the different entities. If a new continent, a new DXCC, a new CQ zone, whatever, you can set those so they will send an alert by your speaker. I have not used that. I'm either here looking at the radio or I don't want to hear it at all mode. So I don't need the speaker alert because I'm in the next room. Filters I have not used. This is one of the new windows he's added, and I've not spent much time there, but there are filtering options. That pretty well covers the setup for this. Now I use JT Alert, which holds hands with WSJT and gives you, I'll say, an enhanced filter display of some of the stations and parameters you might want to look and search for. It gives you the opportunity to have up to 10 panels. These are called panels, and I have 3 panels. These are LOTW filtered entities that it decodes during each cycle. These are all of the DX decodes with no filters. It's all the DX, LOTW or not. The calls that show up in the CQ directed decodes are anything that is calling other than just a plain CQ. This Belgium station is calling USA. You see that just down below decode in the white block when I put the arrow over it. So these are just calling straight CQ. You see third line down, that is his transmitted signal. So how do we get all these set up? We'll go to settings, and these are the panels, and you have the option and opportunity to, well, let's see. I did this a day or two ago, and now I can't remember. Yeah, this is where I set the call sign options for what shows in the panels. If I've worked the guy, I want to see the before or the state if I have not worked him before. I want to see the LOTW diamond. This is the LOTW indicator in the top corner. I want to see the splat. There is a feature here. I can send a text message to that station. If he has the splat that says he has this turned on, you can type a message, say, hey, thanks for the QSO if you work him, or if you have a question, you can send that to him and they will respond back, that's, I think, a pretty cool feature. Let's see, you can set the parameters for the text in the blocks. Window option is where this window starts. Enabled panel. And then here we go. Oh, you click on the little box and it tells me what I'm sorting on. I have these options. I can filter this box by any of these, and I'm on LOTW codes. That means these stations are showing as LOTW users. I can go here and we see this one is decoding DX. No filters, no other entities. It's all the DX stations. And here recently, I have seen this. It's 7 Qs wide and 4 deep that show on here. I have seen in the later days, and sometimes I have an audio issue, and it looks like this is one of those times. There we go. Maybe we're back now. Still hadn't figured out what causes that, but anyway, so this is the CQ directed decodes. So how do you filter this? How do you decide what you show there? Well, you go to, let's get back to the menu. You go to, and this is JT Alert 2.61.0. This is not the latest. There are others out there. And if you're in fox and hound mode, it tells you that right here. It tells you you're in hound mode. When I go down here, I'll turn that back off. So how do you figure out what you want to look for? One of the things that I want to look for, and we're reading the JT Alert data files. One of the things that I want to look for and have a colored block show up there is if some of my friends get on and I decode them. If any of these calls show up and the receive, they're going to show up with the purple and white letters. You will see there's Stan on my list. Most of these are local folks. This guy's up in North Burlington, Vermont. met him in an online CW class several years ago that I failed to follow up on completely. Let's see, another one up here. K7CAR is a guy who is very active in the POTA world. He goes and camps out weeks at a time in very remote western plains and deserts. Look at his QRZ page and you will be amazed. I have worked him over 350 times. And so whenever I see him, I always try to work him. Another one that's kind of in that category is N3FJP. Archibald is in the Washington, D.C. area, and if he activates a park or shows as a park activated, you can bet he's probably at 2 or 3 or 4 parks up in the DC area. He can find more trail intersections in a park than anybody I've run into. I always try to work him because he's good for 2 to 4 and occasionally 5 parks. That gets the call sign 1. Call sign 2 are special event activities. You will see the GB13, the K2K, the TM13 call. These are left in here from the 13 colony event, and those were the last 3 I needed. So I put them in here. They showed up with the purple background and black letters. So when I saw that, I knew that was one of those that I was looking for. The third wanted call signs, and it's in the same mode because I very seldom look for the stuff in calls 2. This list came from the DX World bar chart a month ago. I've got to go in, clean these out, and put the current month's calls in. So if one of those is spotted, I get an alert and can go see if I work them. Let's see what else. There are a lot of other entities down through here. Logging, it works with AC log. You have to point some stuff at it and set some things, but it's pretty seamless with AC log and some other stuff. But these are the things that I use and look for. Let's go back to look at settings and go back to audio. And that is just click that one, and I click that one and click OK. Maybe that'll reset that. Well, that don't look like it. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's see what I have. Go back and look at one more thing here. Let's Now that's wanting to hide. Wanted miscellaneous alerts priority. Here you can set the priority of all of these entities, and it will sort them however you choose to. That was one of the things I wanted to show. And then the other piece of this is the LOTW flag. You can put, if you want the diamond to show when the users have been in LOTW system, and you don't want them if it's been a long time. I have it enabled and I have it 2 years. If they have done an upload in the last 2 years, I want to see the LOTW flag. And that's just because I'm picky. I want to work LOTW folks, so I get confirmation. If you work the folks that let's see. I may have to start this all over. Let's see. Shut that down. Let me just stop. Let me just stop WSJT and JT alert. And we'll start them over. Maybe that will cure the problem. WSJT starts first. A fraction of a second later, you can click on the JT alert for WSJT. Looks like it's coming back up. Have to resize this to fit. Okay, there we go. Now then, let's see if we can get some more activity here. Let's see. Like I said earlier, looking at the setup, I'm using a K3S and a Gap Challenger vertical antenna in my backyard. My have a hex beam, and it's down waiting on me to grow the tower from 20 feet to 40 feet. That's a work in progress. It's going to be a little bit yet. So that's what we are receiving on. And there we see he's calling DX. This guy's calling Wyoming. CQWY. You see there in the third line in the white box. So any directed CQs you will see or will show up there. I think that has pretty well covered these two. There are, and we will, I will go back and call up the my login program and the POTA program and show you how I will use the the POTA log piece of this to enhance the hunting process. Before I go there, two other pieces of software I want to mention. There is a program called Grid Tracker, which I've looked at it. I understand it's sort of a WSJT type of program. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's something you might want to take a look at. Another thing that showed up in an email yesterday was there's a program where the POTA mapping, and we'll look at that when we get the POTA screen back up. There is a guy who has taken the POTA mapping system and has added county lines for a number of the states. The name of that program is POTAmap.us. Just POTAmap.us. And take a look. When you look at it, it has the little yellow dots where the parks are, and it has the county lines. At least it's there for Georgia. So those are the two. And so now let's go back to, I'll minimize all of this, and we will go back to the screen here. Let me move the Zoom screen. We'll go back to the log. And let's see, the POTA. So here we are. Let's go back here and go in Control R. I'll go in here and set the radio for sideband. Load the setup for that. Oh, I know what's going on. All right. The logging program and WSJT will not both talk to the computer at the same time. So I have to reset them. I'm going to find a 2-meter contact or a 20-meter contact. I've clicked on that. The radio follows that to 14,280. So right now I'm set on that frequency. I will clear the log entry and we'll go here and I'll come down to 14,280. Let's see what we can hear. I tuned down to 14,219. And I hear nothing except the background noise. I go to 228 and I hear nothing. I go to 232. I go to 238. And this is not unusual to tune a number of these and hear nothing. 245. Somebody way back in the noise. 248. 270. That's 255. So there are signals out there. 271.
You have a great day as well. Thank you. Our last call for 50 POTA, Kilo Charlie 30 Mike Bravo, and you have 173
So there is that guy, and he's probably quite workable. But I won't do that right now. But what I would do is I will come here, I will copy the part number. I'll remember his call long enough to go here, put his call in, and the way my screen is set up for hunting is I tab 5 times and then I paste the part number there. And I usually do that, and then I key the transmitter and attempt to work it. If I do, I hit enter to log it. If I don't, I escape and go back to the screen and keep scrolling. So let me turn that off. So that is quick and dirty how I use this to hunt POTA stations, and a little bit about how my stuff is set up. I hope that has helped you some. If you have any questions, just send an email, k4eli@awrl.net. Will work most of the time. I've had some struggles with my email lately, so if you can't get in touch with me that way, Terry's got another email I think that will work, and be happy to answer any questions. Feel free to use the programs that are there in the chat bar. And at this time, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And there's a buddy. Hey, Will.
Yeah, you did a great job, Steve. Do we have any questions? If you do, unmute and ask the question to Steve, and then he'll try to answer it for you.
So, Stan has no questions. Will, how are you? Get your mute button off.